Hello, I'm Dallas Chavez, and in this video today I'm going to be telling you why your legs aren't growing. And it's not your genetics, it's not because you're natty, it's not even because you've been cursed by an evil jelly witch. It's because you're not training hard enough. Mostly. You're probably looking at me and you're like, Denali, I train my legs just like I do any other body part, and all the other ones grow but my legs don't. So we have to think, what's different about your legs than your other body parts? And it's the size, it's the strength. And what that means is you require so much more weight to create the same stimulus in your legs as you do anywhere else in your body. And the implications of that are, of course, like you're creating a corresponding amount of fatigue with that extra weight. So your stimulus to fatigue ratio with your legs is so much lower than your weaker muscles. And as a result of that, like, you just require so much more time to recover. Your muscles only actually require about 48 hours, even if you have a gnarly workout, 48 hours to recover. Your nervous system, it can genuinely take weeks to recover. So you really should have a low training frequency for your legs. And if you're training your legs twice a week, you're probably not training them hard enough. Because your nervous system shouldn't be able to recover from that. It should be really fatiguing to train legs. You should actually be nervous beforehand. You should be dreading it. It's meant to be something that's very uncomfortable because of how much fatigue is created by a hard leg workout. And again, you need a hard leg workout to create the same stimulus you have anywhere else. So do not train legs more than once a week. And genuinely, train legs less, but with a higher intensity. You're probably looking at me, you're like, Denali, if I train my legs once a week, and I'm still training the rest of my body twice a week, it means I'm getting half the amount of workouts in my legs. And sure, maybe they'll recover for them, but still, regardless, like I'm trying to catch my legs up to the rest of my body, they need more workouts, right? But the problem there is, like, when you're training a muscle, you're actually training the individual muscle fibers to grow bigger. You're not producing more muscle fibers. So if you put the exact same stimulus into your legs, which has 4 times the amount of muscle fibers as your arms, then you're going to get 4 times the muscle growth in your legs than your arms with the exact same amount of training volume, which is why bigger muscles you need to train less. And don't confuse heavy weights for difficulty, for intensity. You should just train to failure. And for legs, that's really hard because for every other muscle, you're training biceps, it's very easy. You train to failure, the weight stops going up, you're done. For legs, you can kind of always get one more rep, and because of that, people train to moderate discomfort or severe discomfort, but they're not training actually to failure. And to help you train to failure, you have to make yourself weaker, produce less force. So don't do compound movements. Try to isolate your actual individual muscles of the leg, and that'll mean that you're able to get away with a little bit less fatigue with the same stimulus. The thing is, like, when you're talking about optimizing a gym routine, the entire purpose of it is to maximize your stimulus to fatigue ratio. It sounds nerdy, it sounds cliche. Don't try to set your entire workouts around this. Still do squats, but realize that the bulk of your muscle is going to come from being able to get a lot of stimulus without killing your body, without feeling like shit the next morning, feeling like you've been hit by a train. It's kind of a satisfying feeling to wake up the next morning and feel awful from it because you feel like you've trained really hard, but you have to realize, like, how much growth am I actually getting out of this? Am I just doing this because it feels good to wake up feeling super sore, super beat up because I know I put in work? Or is it more satisfying to actually get growth out of the work that you're putting in? And another advantage with isolation is it often comes with machines. And what's great about machines, especially for hypertrophy when you're training to failure, is that it means that you don't have to worry about your form breaking down. If you're doing squats and you're training to absolute failure on squats, you're going to have to worry about stability. You're going to have to worry about your lower back fatiguing. You're going to have to worry about these million different factors because you have so much weight on your body and your entire body is feeling that force. Your entire body is moving that weight. Versus if you could do an isolation movement on a machine, it's just your quad, it's just your hamstring, it's just your calf, it's just your glutes, it's just your hip abductor, and you're able to push everything you have into the set path, and you don't have to worry about your form breaking down. You don't have to worry about the weight slipping off your back. None of that. You can just push with everything you have. And obviously this is in direct contrast to people like Tom Platz, who really preached the squat and thought those machines were sissy movements that were inferior to heavy compounds. And I'm not saying not to do compounds, but you just have to realize, like, if squats are what you're doing for leg growth and you don't have leg growth, maybe you shouldn't be doing squats. And that's it. I just think it's really hard to get close to failure in squats. Tom Platz was a legend. He was a monster. He was able to do it. I don't know if you are able to do it. And audition with Tom Platz, you have to realize the dude was really short, so his legs looked fucking amazing. And he was on a bunch of steroids, so he'd recover from this stuff. And even then, even if you think squats are the best, agree with me on the main factor, the main point of this video, where I'm saying you should train legs less frequently. Less is more. Take that in your head out. Tom Platz only did legs every 2 weeks. I think that's a little bit much, especially for people, because you're probably not going to be training as hard as you possibly should be. But just realize that if you're training legs more than once a week, you're probably doing it wrong. And also, additionally, like I was talking about earlier, it's lighter weight, it's less fatiguing, so you're able to get more growth with less fatigue. And I should stop mentioning this goddamn ratio because I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but really I'm just trying to nail into your head that this is bloody important, especially when it comes to legs, more than any other thing in your entire body. Just think, how can I get the closest proximity to failure while hurting myself the least in the process? Now I'm gonna wrap up this video here. My last video went crazy. It got like 300 views, and I really appreciate you guys for making that happen. Like, thank you so much. But still, I'm just a small creator, and I'm trying to learn how to make YouTube videos and get better at them. So if you think that I can do that, I would really appreciate you subscribing. But if you don't, that's totally fine too. Just have a wonderful day. That's all that matters in the end. But I love you guys. Take care.